Hi, this is Jan Mazzotti. We're here at the Global New Energy Summit here at the Broadmoor in Colorado Springs. Right now we have Jamai Blivin, the CEO of Innovate Educate. And Jamai, you have such an interesting story with the Innovate Educate story. Why did you start the organization?
So I had been working in investment banking for many years. Left investment banking, went into the classroom. And when I became a middle school teacher, I thought, oh my gosh, this is the worst disconnect I've ever seen. So I taught a few years thinking I'll never put a suit back on, I'm never going to go back to work in the real world. And I got an opportunity to work for the North Carolina Technology Association, which was really top industry driving transformation in STEM education, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. So I spent about 2.5 years in North Carolina and just felt this need to go to New Mexico where there wasn't a lot of industry and really try to do something that could bring everyone together under one umbrella. So I approached Intel and asked them if they would start a nonprofit that would really bring industry from across the country together to address STEM education. And at the time, that was 3 years ago this April. Jamie Grandotto, who is here with us at the Broadmoor, said, well, then what do we do? And I said, well, first we have to come up with a name, and then we go get our board. And so we spent a while coming up with our name. The White House ended up stealing it and flipping it and calling Educate to Innovate, which is President Obama's campaign. And we formed our national board. So it's been very exciting.
Very good. That's so exciting, and we certainly need organizations that are really focused on a result in the STEM industry, not just on the dialogue, but really on driving result and moving the needle forward. And I know that's what Innovate Educate is really trying to do. And we've heard throughout the conversations the last day and a half here at the Global New Energy Summit that education is really playing a role in the competitiveness of the energy industries. And obviously STEM education is integral to that. Can you talk a little bit about that and how STEM will help keep the energy industry, how we must sort of really look at STEM education as a way to keep our energy industries, as well as any of our science industries, competitiveness in the global economy?
So I think that's one of the things that we're going to be addressing on a panel later today. There's a disconnect still that what our kids are learning in the classroom are not what we're hearing here today. And one of the things we really want to focus on from an industry perspective is how to get more of these innovations into traditional education, whether it's K-12 or community college or higher education, because as we're hearing here, there's a lot of innovations going on. And
a lot of jobs open.
A lot of jobs open, but the kids 16 to 24, we have the highest unemployment in the history of our country for 16 to 24-year-olds. And they don't even know what jobs exist in these fields. So because Innovate Educate is an all-industry board, we believe our role is to really drive that conversation where industry continues to push on what has to transform within the education system. Teachers don't have a clue what jobs are out there. And so we hope as we continue to build the collaboration and pull energy, that's why we're really here today at this conference, is to really learn more about what jobs there are and try to spread that across states. One of our partners is Battelle Corporation. Battelle is very heavy in the energy space. They oversee 7 of our national laboratories. So they're here, their national laboratories are here. NREL is one of them here in Colorado. They are developing a multi-state network where states will start sharing practices and policies across states. We're very much a part of that network. We're working with those states. Right now there's 12 states. We believe that there'll be 18 states within the next few months that are part of that network. So one of the things those networks will share are practices in STEM around energy. So it's going to be great.
Well, in Jamai, we certainly need that, and we need those collaborations and those partnerships, and it's great to see energy and government and laboratories and and all of these organizations, education, working together to have these bigger dialogues, because it seems like it's been standing still for quite a long time. And I know that in June, you're partners with the U.S. News and World Report as well as STEM Connector for a major conference that's coming up, I believe, in Dallas, focused on STEM. Can you tell us a little bit about the conference and what we could expect from that?
So this conference, I think, is really exciting because similar to this conference, it's really a leadership conference. We're bringing CEOs from across the country, governors, policymakers. It's not a conference for teachers. I mean, we would love to have teachers and educators, but it's not going to be practices from the classroom. It's really a policy and skill gap summation of where are the jobs, why can we not fill them, and how can STEM meet the needs of the workforce that we need. So it's really going to be a lot of discussion around where the gaps are, why we have all these job openings, why we have high unemployment, and obviously there has to be some change. So what we hope is that it's a leadership conference that will drive not only discussion but action afterwards. So we're really developing right now an action agenda that we'll walk out of there and there will be some real items that we have to tackle around the jobs and what jobs are and what STEM means. 5% of all jobs in our country are STEM jobs, meaning science, technology, engineering, and math. The other 90%, if not 95%, require STEM skills. So where my goal is from an Innovate Educate perspective is even someone here that's filming us, he's a STEMist. You have to be able to have STEM skills to survive in the economy. And so that's where I hope this conference takes us.
Absolutely. Well, Jamai, thank you so much. To learn more about your organization, Innovate Educate, go to innovate-educate.org. And then to learn more about the leadership around STEM education with both a public, private perspective, going on June 27th through June 29th, 2012 in Dallas, Texas, go to usnewsstemsolutions.com. This is Jan Mazzotti at the Global New Energy Summit in Colorado Springs, Colorado.